What's up, everybody? Getting into this episode of Beyond the Gates. This was another good ass episode. Martin is working my nerve with his attitude. Like he really is. He getting on my nerve. Well, he been getting on my nerve, but getting on my nerves more than ever. Like the way he be popping off on Smitty and stuff and getting mad at him. I be ready for Smitty to walk away. Cause I just be really looking at Smitty shaking my head like, sir, what is your breaking point with him? Like, what is it? What does it take for you to leave that fool? Like, do he got to go Ike Turner on you? Like, do he got to hit you? Like, what does it take? How much can you take from him? Like, he just be spazzing out. I don't know, but free Smitty. Free Smitty. I'm just saying. I'm glad Smitty working on this new case that he got, dealing with social media influencers and them using their platform for for the wrong reason. I definitely think he should be talking to Chelsea about that. You know what I'm saying? Get some insight from her. Maybe she knows something, that could help his story. I think he should definitely link up with her. Because who's more into social media and stuff and got a big following than Chelsea? Perfect person to talk to about this. At the end of the day, with this whole Tyrell situation, I get where Martin is coming from. Like, he just want to go up to the school, raise some hell, knock some heads. I get it. I totally get it. Like a lot of parents would when it comes to their kids, especially when you think they're being bullied. You going to be wanting to put paws on somebody. But I also get where Smitty coming from, too. Like, you got to play this right, because you don't want to ever humiliate your children by marching up to the school and showing out. You don't want to do that because that's going to bring more attention. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion, to handle this. I mean, no matter how you handle it, it's going to get messy. It's going to be messy no matter how you do it. So they just got to figure it out at the end of the day, because obviously Tyrell and Samantha are not telling them anything. And I get where Smitty coming from, because he feels like Tyrell gets that from Martin. Like, he clams up. He don't want to talk about things. He lets it fester, and now Martin want to pop off and get all upset, telling him to leave it alone. I'm like, Martin, go on somewhere with that nonsense. Like, sir, go somewhere with that. Well, I don't know what type of marriage you think you have, but that's not a marriage that's going to last if you don't tell your husband, what's going on. This is why I feel like Martin should have been Vernon and Anita's youngest child. I feel like he should have been their younger kid or something, because he's always with them. Like, you barely see him interact with his mother. Like, he barely interacts with Nicole. He never interacts with Ted, which is eye-opening, because you got all this going on and you never interact with your daddy. Then on top of that, his kids, you never really see them around Ted and Nicole. And that's their grandkid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's their grandparents. And you never see them interact with them. So it's kind of weird. That's what leads me to believe that Nicole and Ted have no clue of what's going on with Martin as far as the secret is concerned. They have no idea. And, Martin feels like he's at the brink of exploding at this point, because he know that the secret is coming out. It's starting to. Because Smitty is not going to keep accepting his excuses about work is stressing him out. He's not going to keep accepting it. Like, he's going to want to know the full story, like what's going on. But of course, Anita and Vernon are not with that. You know what I'm saying? They're not with Martin telling anybody about this. Not only for the protection of the family, but I also believe they're doing this for the protection of Vernon. Because Vernon went his entire career without scandal. And this type of thing, even though he's retired, but there's still a lot on the line, because Vernon, I believe he teaches a course at the college, and he still does speaking engagements that are very financially lucrative. So that could blow all of that down. This type of secret could have major fallout, not just for the entire family, but their image, everything that they built, their good name. It could knock it all down. Not to mention Martin's career, the effect that it's going to have on the children. Like, it's just like a house of cards. It's all going to come tumbling. And that's what they all worried about. Of course they want to protect everybody, mentally and everything else, like the emotional fallout. But I get where they coming from because I be, protecting my money too. You damn skippy hippie. I'm protecting that money on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta protect that. It's a lot at stake. But I just hate the way Martin be, trying to lash out at Vernon and Anita over this. Like, son, don't come up in their house with that attitude. Don't come up in there with all that drama. Ain't nobody got time for that. I feel bad for Tyrell. I really do, that he's being humiliated at school because now that picture of him and his skivvies is going public. It's all over the school, social media, whatever, their school thingy on their timeline. And, they worried about teachers seeing it and stuff like that. And obviously they don't want Martin and Smitty to know. I'm like, you can't keep this from Martin and Smitty for too much longer. Like, if it's on the school blogs or the school, social media stuff, I mean, at some point they're going to see it. It's going to get out. And the teacher going to see it. The teacher going to report it. I just think this is some sick business that them kids are doing at that school, because them circulating that photo, that's basically child pornography. That's bordering on child pornography. You putting that out there. If it's a teenage boy in his undies and stuff and you posting that on the internet, that's a lot of legal ramifications. So naturally, if a teacher sees that, they're going to report that. There's no way to keep that silent. But, hopefully, he can fix this. Samantha, I love that she loyal. She got his back and whatnot, trying to let him know, like, listen, once you get to college, this will blow over. Like, and I get where she coming from, because in school, even when I was in school, like, it'd be some mess one day with somebody. Everybody in the school talking about it. Even the next day, everybody talking about it. But then the day after, something new happened, and we all forgot about what happened a day or two ago. We ain't talking about that no more. Some new gossip that happened. That really is how it be in school. I went through that too. That's exactly how it be. New stuff happen every day. The old stuff blow over. People don't even talk about it no more. It's gonna blow. But I get where Tyrell coming from though, because he feel like, nah, this got legs on it. Like, this gonna be around for a minute, and that could happen too. It can. So I get it, but it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, what's your options? But I ain't gonna lie, I did like their interactions with their great grandparents though. And, Anita was sitting there talking about Langston Hughes and reciting poetry and all that. I love that. That was beautiful, because Langston Hughes, that's one of my favorite poets too. Langston Hughes is definitely one of my favorites. Like, that's legendary right there. That's that dude. Like, who don't know about Langston Hughes, the great Langston Hughes? So that was beautiful. She was sitting there, having fun with her great grandkids. And I loved the scene between Vernon and Tyrell at the chess match. Oh, I loved it. I was here for it. Tyrell really is a smart kid. Like, he's a smart dude. He beat his great grandfather in 8 moves. Like, chess is no joke. I remember I had a glass chessboard. I don't know what happened to it, but I had a glass chessboard. Chess is a hard game. Like, you really have to be quite a few moves ahead of your opponent. And you can really apply chess to life. You really can. People act like you can't. I'm like, yes, you can. That's why for years on daytime TV, you always saw, like, powerful people playing chess. You always seen Victor Newman playing it. You always seen Stefano Demira playing it. It ain't no joke. Like, chess is for real. Like, chess is a thinking game, and you can apply it to life. In real life, you can move people around like chess pieces on the chessboard. Sure can. To get the end result that you want. Hell yes, you can. Tyrell smart. Beat his great granddaddy like it was nothing. Beat that old man like he owed him money. I love how he played with him though. Like, he called him OG. He was like, "Oh, we beefing." That was funny. But even the great grandparents, they could see something ain't right with the kids. Like, they know something up, but they not reading too much into it at this point, because they probably think it's just some teenage mess. So they're not thinking too much of it, and they got their own stuff going on. But hopefully Tyrell can overcome all that. I hope so. Anita is freaking gorgeous. Let me tell you something. Her and Vernon are fired together, even at their age. Like, they look damn good for their age. Like, they are such a hot couple. Um, and I love their love. You know what I'm saying? How they look out for each other. Because he's sitting over here struggling with his speech. And Anita, you know, she's sitting there trying to help him with it. And I love the ending to this episode. How Vernon was reciting his speech. And as he's reciting it, you see, like, the transitions to all the other characters and what they got going on. And the craziness. Because what he was saying resonated with what was going on with each character. Every time he said a part of his speech, it went to a certain character. I said, I love that. That was the perfect transition. I said, whoever edited that together, kudos to you. You need a raise, because that was beautiful. That was perfect. His speech was fire. Like, Vernon knocked that out the park. Theodore, turtleneck Teddy. Let me tell you something. That man, when I tell you he got a turtleneck in every color, that man came up in Leslie's house with the all black on black turtleneck. I said, oh, he mean business. He wasn't playing. Oh, Ted was not playing. She was like, oh, I'll scream loud. He said, do it look like I give a damn? Ted was on some gangster stuff. I said, oh, Ted, you must be from West Baltimore. You from the hood. Because he just came up in there like a thug. I said, like a well-dressed thug. I said, okay. He wasn't playing with her. He had to strike some fear up in that ass. He was like, I hope you know this the last bit of money you gonna get from me. He said the well is dry. She was all gushing over that 50K. Because even Eva, later in the episode, Eva was like, oh, this should be enough for us. What's enough? In this economy, 50,000 is enough. For what? I hope you don't mean 50,000 enough for you to live off of, because baby girl, you got a lot to learn if that's what you think. 50K ain't enough. Not nowadays. Shit, tariffs over here about to raise our prices. Hell no, that ain't enough. And that's what always pissed me off with Leslie. I said, girl, you 50K, that man live in a mansion. And that's all you ask for? Your standards are low. You need to raise your standards, because 50K shouldn't have been enough. You should have at least said at least 500K, 600K, like somewhere around there, like between 500 to $1 million. You should have started out right there, because that's a huge secret to be keeping. But Ted wasn't playing with her though. Like, like the way that man slammed that money down on that table. I said, oh, he mean business, because bitch, the table. You see how the table shook when he said. I said, oh, that's how we coming. I said, okay, Teddy. Teddy said, no, I'm sick of your shit. He said, I'm not playing with you. Leslie was looking damn good. Let me tell you something. Did y'all see her in them jeans? How them jeans was just hugging every little curve of her. I said, okay, Leslie, I see why he was messing with you back in the day. I see why, because you got it going on. I'm just saying, like, Nicole is a beautiful woman, but I could see how he was messing around with Leslie. She got a body. She do. And she a nice looking lady. That's a beautiful woman, but she got a body. Even for her age. I don't know how old she is, but I'm sure she around his age, but you see the butt? I said, damn, that's an ass. Now that's an ass, because that ass was popping out them jeans. I said, good Lord. I said, Teddy, I see you. I see you, Teddy. You know you filed for messing around in the cold, but I see you. I see you. We see each other. I see you. I could see why you would mess with that. Okay. I ain't mad at it. Play on, player. How the players play all day, every day. I see you. But yeah, they little back and forth exchange was funny as hell, because Ted was like, listen, he said, don't try me. He said, don't call me no more. He said, you ain't getting no more money. Your ass better leave town. Ted was through. But she was like, how his lawyer, and I'm guessing whoever this lawyer is he talking about, I'm guessing is also a fixer for him. Like, he fixed all his little problems, like Olivia Pope in a way. She was like, the lawyer pretty much was forcing the abortion on her. And Ted was like, oh, I didn't know about that. I said, now, what part didn't you know about? Because he before said he knew about the pregnancy, but he didn't know that the lawyer, I guess, was forcing that on her. I don't know. Y'all saw the way when Ted was like, oh, you want to count this 50,000? The way Leslie, how slick she was when she knocked that photo over, face down, of her and Eva. That was smart. That was slick. She made sure not to let him see that photo. I like Leslie. Leslie is crazy. Like she a good villain. She's definitely a damn good villain. Like she keep me entertained with her crazy. Um, but she was smart though. She made Ted think like, okay, I'm gonna take this 50K, I'm gonna leave. This heifer be playing games. She said, oh, but I got a lease, and it's at least a year. He said, you got $50,000, you can get a few leases. He said, don't play with me. I said, Leslie, why are you playing with this man? Like, why? He got on all black with a turtleneck. He mean business today. Like, stop playing with it. Because the way Ted was going at her, he looked like he was ready to take her out right there. So I'm like, yeah, don't play with turtleneck Ted now. But yeah, she basically told Eva, she was like, we gonna play this game. We gonna play the long game. We gonna lay low, let his ass think we letting this go, like we left or whatever. She was like, no, I ain't going nowhere. She was like, no, I'm gonna blow his life up. I said, okay, Leslie. See, that's why you don't mess with somebody that got something to lose. Um, I was happy to see Lil Laura. I said I didn't think we was gonna see her again, but I said, okay, we see Lil Laura. She look like she getting better. Not for long, but she like she getting better. She finally met with Eva and stuff like that, and Mona. I said, look at Mona. I like Mona. I like her, but she got a big mouth. Mona has a big mouth because the way she was at the diner with Jen, Ashley, mother, and Leslie, and they was gossiping, baby. When Leslie said, "As the country club turned," that shit had me on the floor. Cause y'all know it's a play on "As the world turned." You know that shit was funny. I said, "Okay, Leslie." Um, Mona got a big mouth though because she unknowingly be letting information slip out, useful information slip out to Leslie. Because once Leslie heard that Laura was on the mend and she was coming back to work soon, I seen that gleam in her eyes. She said, nah, we got a plan. I can't let her come back to work right now. I said, Lord, 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 she about to hurt this girl. And sure enough, I know a wig hate to see Laura coming. I mean, not Laura. I know a wig hate to see Leslie coming. Every time you turn around, this heifer got a brand new wig. I said, what is this? She popped up at that hospital and she put some type of liquid or something in that girl IV. I said, don't kill her. I said, Leslie, don't do it, please. Don't harm that little girl. Come on now. And just as she was doing that, because Nicole had told Ted, she was like, well, I'm getting busier than ever, because she was like between work and, charity and stuff like that. She was like, it wouldn't hurt for me to have two assistants. Because she wanted to keep them both on because she was getting busier and busier. What was crazy to me was because I thought with Kat leaving, because Kat starting her business with Chelsea, Ted was gonna need a new assistant himself. So I thought Eva would go work for Ted. That's what I thought they were gonna suggest. But Nicole was like, nah, I could use both of them. I said, okay. But I definitely feel like more and more Eva is going to find a way to get out this mess. Like she's gonna find a way to counteract Leslie. Cause the more she's around Ted and Nicole, the more she liked them. The more she want to be a part of their fabric, their family dynamic, and all that type of stuff. She don't want to hurt them because she sees a different side to them. They welcomed that girl in. They treated her with respect. They didn't look at her like the help. They didn't treat her the way Kat treated her. Like she a second class citizen or nothing. They didn't treat her like that. And I think she loved that and she respect that. They just embraced her. No questions asked. And she don't want to hurt them. The more she know them, she don't want to hurt them folk. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. Because she liked them. But it's gonna be a battle. Oh, it's gonna be some mess between her and her mama. It's definitely gonna be something. Um I think that's everything in this episode. This was a good episode. I enjoyed this. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Have a good night. Peace.